Hello kids, welcome back to the virtual learning experience of GBN Senior Secondary School. Today in class 5 EVS, we are going to study about the food production and storage. As we all know the importance of food in our life, we should also give importance to the production of food. We should have much knowledge related to that. And when we are talking about the food production, it is very much important to know about the storage techniques also, right? So this topic is going to brief all these things now. So let's get started. Here I am having a slide which is going to tell you about food production and storage. So before doing that, we are going to study about the types of farming. Number one is a subsistence farming and number two is a commercial farming. Now what is subsistence farming? A farming in which the farmer is creating the opportunity for himself. He is only doing that particular farming in his piece of land only for meeting his personal needs and the needs of his family, right? But when we talk about commercial farming is done on a large scale. When we talk about large scale production, it is a large scale farming as well. More production is done, more manual labor is included, more techniques are used. This particular farming is the backbone of the country because many other people who are dependent on plants and animals indirectly on the farmers are getting food from this kind of farming. Now, what are the types of farmers? So the next slide is telling you about the types of farmers. Farmers are not only those who are doing the subsistence or the commercial farming or producing fruits or vegetables, but actually there are number of farmers. Number one is a poultry farmer. Now, a poultry farmer is a farmer which is producing hen, chicken, and eggs. Yes, a poultry is a place where these all types of animals are reared for producing meat and eggs. Next come dairy farming. Dairy farming is done for the milk kettles, the kettles which produces milk. For example, cow, buffalo, goat, etc. Now coming to the horticulturist, these are the farmers which produces ornamental or decorative flowers. You have seen the beauty of any function is enhanced by the use of flowers in it. So all those ornamental flowers are taken care or produced by the horticulturist. Then are apiculturies. The apiculturies are the spaces, or you can say the process, where farmers used to rear honeybees. They take care of those honeybees in their honey webs and honeycomb webs, and they take out honey from them to provide us to our doorstep, right? So, though there is a long chain between that, but yes, these are the initiators. These farmers are those people who are making it happen at the first step. Now coming forward to the topic which talks about how food is grown. So we should understand that food growing is not a one-step process. It is something which takes place in several steps. So the number one step is plowing field. We have to make the field ready for the farming. It is done by leveling the field, by making spaces in it, by making porous. Earlier it was done by the help of ox and bulls in bullock carts, but now these days we have modern techniques and equipments like tractors, etc. So after once then the field is done ready, then seeds are sown. While we are sowing seeds in a field, we have to take care that the seeds are with equal intervals, they have enough space between them, every seed is getting the opportunity of sunlight, they are getting enough water, everything. Then after that comes irrigation. Irrigation is a method of providing water to the plants. Now, when we are talking about watering plants, we need to understand that there is a different requirement for every plant. Plants like cactus are done with very less amount of water, while plants like rice, also known as paddy, they require standing water. They need, if this is the length of the field's crop, then this same level water should be there. So that is known as a standing water. Then after irrigation comes manures and fertilizers. Manures, my dear children, are the kind of food which is given to the plants. They are the nutrients dose given to the plants. Manure is basically made out of the human waste or the vegetable biodegradable waste, while fertilizers is more a chemical based product. So both of them are making the growth of the plants better and speedy. But I would suggest, and most of the farmers these days always prefer manure, and that is the term from where organic farming comes from. So when we are not using chemical based products in our farming, the farming becomes entirely organic. The next one is weed removal and protection. Weeds are the unwanted plants. We need to understand what are weeds. See, if a main crop is wheat and certain other crops, small crops, by the carrying of water and air, if the seeds are sown nearby them and they have also started growing in between wheat, what will happen? The main nutrition we are going to provide to our wheat crop, the main crop, that will be taken away by the weed. So in this case, weeds are not good for us. Hence, they are known as the unwanted plants. We need to remove them. We have different ways of removing weeds, either by hand picking and sometimes by the use of machines as well. When we talk about protection, we need to understand about the threats first. What are the threats to the field? We have threats like rats, which are known as rodents. We have threats like animals, the cattle, sometimes big animals like cow and buffaloes, they used to ruin the field. And we have some birds also, which can attack the Yes, which can attack the field. So this is particularly done by different ways. You have seen fencing, the wire fencing around the field that protects the animals coming inside the field and ruining it. If they're eating a small portion, they're destroying a larger portion. Then we have stray crows also. We are having a dummy kind of substance using an earthen pot on the head and sticks like as if a human being is standing. That is to make the birds scary and stay away from the field. Once when the production and everything is done, then comes harvesting. Now we have to understand that harvesting is done on a particular time. Every plant is having its own maturity rate. Few plants take a year to bear the fruits, some take only few months, right? So in that particular way, the farming is done in different ways and harvesting is also continued by the same process. After harvesting, the main topic, that is storage. Once the harvesting is done, though it has also taken lot of time and it has also consumed a lot of manual power, but if the storage, the last step, is not done nicely, lot of things will be spoiled. In India, we have records of more than 20% of food spoilage because of lack of good storage, right? So we have to pay more attention in this direction. The last topic in this slide is irrigation. We need to understand that irrigation is of two types. The first one is the traditional irrigation, which was being used from several times, from the back of the times, like Picato or Dakely. These are the things which are made from animal's body, a goat skin, and it is used to fetch out water or to store water from wells or ponds, etc. But these days we are having modern techniques like canals and tube wells, right? So now, after discussing this, we have to understand that yes, the farmers are playing a very important role in providing the food we are eating daily. But have you ever understood that why the problem of the farmers is not discussed anywhere? Number one question comes, do they have problem? That is the basic answer. Because we are so consumed in our own life that we do not think. If we have enough money to go to market and purchase food, we think that the life is very easy, but actually that food comes to the doorstep of our house by several process, and the farmers are the beginners, they are the initiators. We need to understand what kind of problems they are having. So ma'am is going to show you another slide which is talking about not only the problems but the solutions to them as well, right? So here is the slide which is talking about the problems faced by farmers. In 3 L's, we are going to sum up all the problems. Number one is lack of rainfall. Majorly, all the farmers in our country are dependent upon the rainfall for their irrigation. They do not have the modern techniques as we discussed lately. So if the farming is to be done in a nice way, the rainfall has to be evidently strong. But if it is not, then the farmers are actually waiting, they are wasting their time as well, right? And eventually, if the farmer is not happy, the entire system of the nation becomes shaky as well. Then is landless laborers. There are a lot of laborers or those who are working in a particular land for a fixed duration of time on daily wages, or maybe for a certain fixed duration. So once when the season is over, they are completely landless. They do not have their own land to work on. Secondly, they do not have enough money also, and that leads to the seasonal migration also. You must have seen people around you, maybe the house helps or guard bhaias, they are, leaving their particular workplace in the month of March and April while the harvesting time is going on, right? So they are turning that work and the another work also because of the lack of land. If we can provide more and more land for them to work upon, there would be higher rates of production, there would be lower rates of migration, and the things can become better. So, the last but not the least is long chain of, yes, marketing. When we are talking about long chain of marketing, majorly we have to consider the wholesale market, the manufacturers, the retailers, and us in levels. Number one, whatever food is produced by the farmers, they sell it to wholesalers. These wholesalers produces that particular product in front of the retailers in a very, very, very large amount. For example, if they have produced something from the farmers in 10 rupees, they are selling it further in 100 rupees. It's just an example. And even the retailers are producing and adding cost to their substance in terms of packaging, in terms of transportation, and several other things. We need to cut down these levels. We have to make a market where the manufacturer is directly contracting or selling their products to the consumer, right? This has been done in the online shopping as well. You shop the same thing from the shop market, it's a bit costlier. And when you purchase it directly from the manufacturer from an online site, it is comparatively low in price. So that particular culture we have to bring into the farmer's life as well. That's a good solution for that. So while I have already shared the solution for landless laborers and long chain of market, I am giving you the task to think about the lack of rainfall. Come up with your ideas to help out the farmers who are the food producers for all of us. Now, my dear children, the next topic we are going to have is the food scarcity. We have to understand that in India there are a lot of people who are sleeping empty stomach. We have already discussed about food wastage, but what is the basic reason about food scarcity? Again, as we always do in our EVS class, problem linked with solution. Here is another slide talking about the food scarcity and its solution. Many of the people are not able to eat food because of their poverty. They are very poor and they are not able to access the food. For that, the government of India is having a public distribution system wherein the prices of the food products is very, very less. 3 to 4 rupees kg rice, which is available to us in 80 or 85 rupees kg. That's fine because we are making money, we are good, well to do, but those people who are not able, not those who are not even able to eat food at a time, once in a time, they should go and use PDS, right? There are ration cards made for that. Then is floods and droughts. In order to control these drought and floods, we can make dams from the flood water and we can later use in the case of droughts. For that we should be having an artificial technique for irrigation and a very close connect between interstates because in Rajasthan floods never came. But the problem is very much evident in Orissa and other parts. So we can connect those two states in terms of finding the solutions for problems like these. Then is spoilage. If the food is spoiled, we have to take care that the better storage techniques are used. maybe made up of wood or from the preservation techniques, we can make the spoilage to its minimum. The last but not the least is artificial storage. Now, understand what is artificial storage. Sometimes few retailers make a artificial stock, unnecessary kind of stock. For example, if I'm a vendor and I have to sell a particular kind of food item, for example, let it be onion. If the news is coming or the production of onions are coming less, so even if I'm having tons of onions in my shop, I'm producing it and keeping it at stock in my godowns. And what is happening? The lack of the chain is disturbed. Less amount of food is going further, and it creates lot of problem plus price hike also. They wait for the scarcity and they take out their stock and they brought it into the market. So that creates a very huge problem. And what is the basic solution for that? There has to be strict laws. A legal check has to be made on these kind of vendors and retailers, right? Even as human beings, the citizens of the country, we can also do one thing. If something in the price rise is becoming at the top most list, for example onion or potato or tomato, we can stay away from that particular food for certain days. We should wait that the entire situation is not taken advantage by people who are making artificial storage. In that way, we can help the farmers and we can help ourselves as well. Thank you.